Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm HitBox Dustin, and I am the designer of the Smashbox. So I'm the guy trying to kickstart this and get this whole project off the ground. And this video is, I guess, my personal response to a lot of the controversy that's been going around this weekend about Genesis ruling to not allow Smashbox to be legal at the tournament. I was planning on sending Gravy and Cloud805 to go show off what Smashbox can do at Genesis and compete. And I was absolutely shocked when I found out that they weren't going to be able to. Mainly because I've gone far out of my way to make sure that this was designed to be a tournament legal controller. Everything in it I designed for legality, and all the TOs I've shown it to and met, they've all kind of given me the low key, like, yeah, you're good. There's nothing to worry about. And that's I've been trying to get some direct feedback and get this dialogue going for a while, and then all of a sudden, I'm thinking, okay, they're cool with it, and then knock, knock, knock. I'm gonna send some guys to your tournament. Oh, something's changed. So this is my response to clear up because from what I understand, reading the comments and all the Reddit stuff and Blur's video, is there's just a lot of misconceptions that I need to clear up because there's absolutely nothing to worry about and nothing to ban here. So ultimately, this is a good thing, and the discussion needs to be had. So let's have it out. So I guess Blur's the last thing I saw, and that's kind of been the most summarized glom of information. So his main fear is not about the Smashbox itself. It's more about if he rules Smashbox legal, what else is he ruling legal? And that's like the slippery slope argument of what is he accidentally doing? Because I get it. I mean, you guys want to protect Melee. It's been 15 years of GameCube controller. There's been no other viable third-party option. I mean, all the other third-party controllers are junk. So it's basically GameCube controller or bust. And now, here comes this crazy-looking thing. What does that mean? So, and as soon as Gravy starts competing in tournaments on this, then there's precedence, and then once it's going, then oh god, we made a mistake. We can't unban it now. I get that, but really, there's nothing to worry about. So let's start off with, I guess, the first point regarding if Smashbox is legal, what other mods are legal? And let me start off with saying that Smashbox is not a mod. Okay, this is a product in development right now. I'm kickstarting it to be a full independent third-party controller produced, manufactured, distributed by HitBox LLC. That's my company. So allowing Smashbox to be legal is not allowing any mods to be legal because it's its own thing. Now, to be clear, this is a proof of concept, not a literal prototype. This actually is a mod. So the six that are out there right now, I think it's six. Toph, Tafo, Dr. Caitlin McGee, Gravy, this one, and then Gravy's got another one he's going to send somewhere else. So anyway, there's six out here like this right now. But the one you're going to get, and the one that I'm kickstarting, is a complete third-party independent controller. There's no mods involved. So clear that out. Because you make Smashbox legal, it doesn't mean that you can drill holes and do extra analog sticks and make a weird Frankenpad. Personally, I got nothing against cool stuff like that, but that's what they're scared they're going to rule legal. So it's totally different case. If you want to, you can split hairs and say, well, this proof of concept is technically a mod, so it'll only be legal once it's kickstarted. But to me, that's pretty lame because it'll never get kickstarted unless it's got the community support, and nobody gives a damn about an illegal controller, right? I mean, I designed this so I could play Smash at tournaments. And so everybody who can't play on GameCube controller, whether it's a disability, whether it's hand problems, whether it's they just don't like the feel of a pad, like a lot of my FGC friends, it's kind of lame that the project can't get off the ground because of something like that. So I guess moving on, the next point is I read a lot, is people are afraid of macros. One, that Smashbox has macros in it, and another that it will allow people to somehow justify putting macros in their own hardware, and that's bogus all around. There's no macros. I guess to give an example, I guess this will all explain how the tilts work at the same time, because people think this button right here is a shield drop button and that's a macro. Tilts are not macros. As you can see, like when you press these, nothing happens. That's because, think of it like on your keyboard, when you press the shift key, it doesn't write out shift key from on whatever you're typing. It doesn't do anything until it is with another button. So I guess to think of it, capital letter, caps lock, and then you hold this, and now they're lowercase letters. So by itself, it doesn't do anything. There's no actual input. Collectively, the analog and the tilts are the analog stick. So all this is this. The output is, even though this is 3 buttons to do this Mewtwo King angle or whatever, the output is still the same exactly as doing, I can't even hit it, like as doing that angle. The only difference is the motor skills involved and the precision. So, but that's the whole point of the Smashbox, is precision and to make the GameCube controlled better. So it's a good thing. Like it's an alternative and it solves a lot of problems. I guess go off topic a second. This is my pad, but look at this. Like it leans to the right on the gate. You know, there's like the stock GameCube controllers aren't even. To me, that pissed me off when I first got this. I was like, really? It's not even gonna. It's just the whole thing, and it's different in every GameCube controller. They're not centered. They're off thing, and because of that, this makes this one have an easier shield drop notch because it's just randomly different than the other ones. Also, the snapback. I think this one has some snapback, but what that is when I flick it, it goes back, and then the ricochet gives it an extra little input. You want to talk about macros? That's technically getting 2 inputs for 1 flick. You know, it's just. But that's a whole other story. So that's more of a rant than anything. But the tilts, you can't think of them as additional buttons. They're not extra buttons, double buttons, macros. They're like gates, like I guess notches. Like yes, I got a picture. This is of Cardano notches. This is Cardano's awesome. He made this popular. If you look at those notches, those are the 17-degree Mangles and Mewtwo King angles, and then also he compensated for the off calibration by modifying the gate on a controller, right? So what that does, those notches, is they restrict the analog so you can hit the angle you want. So that, you know, if you want the specific thing. So anyway, that's the thing. People do it in tournaments. People have notches on their controllers. And that's exactly kind of what this does. It lets you notch by selecting your different modifier. It does the exact same function as hitting a notch. So that's why, let me just show you, just get into the game so I can show you. Like by itself, this is the shield drop button. What it is it's a modifier where normally if you do shield, you're going to spot dodge because that's all the way down. But if you hold it, that changes your gate. Oh, I got to wait till he gets up. It changes your gate to where it restricts the movement just like a notch to where you get a direct shield drop angle. See? So it's just a very precise way to get exactly what you want. Same thing like with the wave dash angles. That's a very small wave dash, and then here's a very long wave dash, the longest wave dash. So that's the exact same thing right there as what these notches are doing for you. It's just a different way to do it, involving your fingers instead of your thumb and notches. It is your fingers with these modifier shift buttons that do the exact same thing as the notches. So when we talk about how to do it on a Smashbox, it's kind of additional inputs, but really the output is one angle. And then the timing and everything is the same, because a macro would say, I'm going to press the Y button and it does a wave dash or whatever you want it to do, multi-shine or whatever. That's not the case. This is still the golden rule of one button, one input. So, and it respects that. It doesn't change that, and it won't let other people start putting macro buttons or turbo buttons or whatever on their GameCube pad. This respects all of the golden rules of what makes a controller legal at tournaments. Um, so I guess, yeah. What else is there to talk about? I mean, oh, just I wrote down ice climbers because I know Blur was using that as the flip. Like, what will this do to ice climbers if somebody does a ice climber notch? People already have ice climber notches. Cardano has them on his site. It's just nobody's taking advantage of it. And people should actually absolutely take advantage of ice climber notches to do cool desyncs. And people should do it on Smashbox too. And I can't wait to see it. So I mean, to me, that's totally different thing and nothing to worry about. I mean, people are already using notches and they already can get these perfect angles. This is just a fundamental different way to do it. And as far as the arguments go, that's kind of the only real point people are that besides the hardware issue is just that it's philosophically, fundamentally, it's just a different way to control Smash. And that's one thing that is different, the motor skills. But it doesn't matter. It's an alternative. The whole point is to give people more options. It doesn't equate to cheating. It's just different. And to ban something because it's different or you're scared of it is not a good enough answer to me. So, I guess another thing that I was seeing is that it somehow justifies button remapping. This is a GameCube controller all flattened out. I mean, technically you can go under the hood and switch the buttons around, but that's a mod just like you can do that, and people do that on their GameCube controllers. And if anything, I mean, it's just I think the real thing is that it's just all out in the open with Smashbox is because it's got the balls to be different. I mean, its whole purpose is to be different. It's a different option for you guys. It's designed for the Smash community to have another option finally for people like me that have to stop after like 10 minutes of trying to wave dash because it hurts. But ergonomics aside, it's just front and center because Smashbox looks so different and it behaves different. But in reality, this slippery slope stuff, it does not enable what I mean. It's not a mod, and analog to digital conversion, if you want to call it that, does not allow people to put in, I guess, make a dash button out of their D-pad. I personally have no problem with it, but the difference is that that's not a button remap, really. I mean, from what HitBox does. I think you're more scared of double binding mapping. If I guess if I'm talking to Blur directly, is like he's afraid that somebody's going to drill the back of their controller and put in like extra additional Smashbox buttons and crazy stuff. Personally, I think that's cool, but I can see how he's just nervous of what it can bring. Who knows? But they're separate. The Smash, it's like I guess you could say if I had a thumbstick on here with this and had both, that would be something that's not accessible to GameCube because it's got two analog sticks technically. Just like you could say if I modded my GameCube controller to have two analog sticks, that would be unfair. But realistically, one-to-one hardware, the outputs are the same. This is the analog, these are the face buttons. It's the same. It just solves a lot of problems, like the smash turning. You're not going to get that random crappy RNG or have to win the controller lottery because 90% of GameCube controllers are not good at smash turns to do the backdash. It's not going to, out of the box, lean to the right because it's just wasn't made correctly, you know. It's just different, and I really need your guys' support and to talk to your TOs about how there's nothing wrong with the actual hardware and what's going on with Smashbox. It's a good thing for the community. It's a controller that's designed for you guys. It gives you a competitive option that's not just the GameCube controller. And all this is beside the fact that, you know, Smash 4 and Smash 64, they all have other controller schemes. All of the FGC has, you know, joystick, hitbox, pad. I mean, people can play on damn DDR pads if they want, you know, DK drums, whatever. It's just a controller is not, it's an interface, right? It's not the purity of what it means to play the game. It's just It's between you and the game, and then there's like this static in the middle that's your controller. And to hit that nirvana of like pure immersion is to be able to fully trust your hardware and to have your hardware reflect what you want it to do. And that's what the goal of Smashbox is because it pisses me off when I try to wave dash and I get a SD because I go off the edge. You know, that's just what the idea is. It's to fully let your brain control your character. But because this one like leans out the gate, I guess for some reason now it's okay. Now it's I don't get it. It's off. It's different. I'm just trying to straighten that out. You know, it's like every single Smashbox out of the box is going to do the same thing. It's going to be calibrated correctly. It's going to be precise. It's going to do what you want it to do because you trust that it's going to do what you tell it to do. When you want to do a backdash, you're not going to have to worry about rolling dice to see if that's going to happen because you want to do, you know, a pivot shield or whatever, and you're not going to have to worry about it reorienting you. You know, it's if you want to desync with Ice Climbers, that's amazing. I want to push the game further. I want to let you guys actually play Smash and push it to newer heights. That's the whole concept. And to worry that it's going to enable cheating is not really fair to us. It's not fair to, you know, FGC players that want to get into it, people with hand problems. It needs to be talked about, and that's why we're talking about it. But I'm just asking you guys not to worry about it and to spread this video and spread the correct knowledge to know that Smashbox is not designed to cheat. It's not cheating. Its predecessor, the HitBox and the FGC, it went through this whole same process of where everybody tried to, you know, TOs wanted to ban it and all this controversy. But in the end, it's just a different viable way to play the games you love. And it's a good thing. So I guess to where I don't get too much into like an emotional appeal, I'm just trying to straighten out the misinformation and leave it at that. So please share this video. Give it to your TO. Spread it around and let me know what you think. And we'll just kind of get this conversation moving still. Yeah, I guess with any luck, we as a community can get Genesis to reverse this decision. And what I'll do is I'll run the Kickstarter campaign at Genesis, during Genesis, and we can get this in motion and actually make it a reality. So thanks for listening. Thanks for your support. And let's play some Melee. Thanks, guys.